This is the Tripolitan Above the Fold, where we bring stories from the pages of Troy University's student newspaper to the airwaves of Troy Public Radio. I'm Anais Shelley, a senior English major at Troy University. I love crochet, and I'm the writer of this book review. Up until very recent history, I thought it was impossible to be from Alabama and not have read Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. However, I found out a few weeks ago I am the only person in my family to have read Lee's breakout novel. Let me tell you more about what is likely the most influential Southern work ever written. Told from the point of view of young Scout Finch, the story unfolds over the span of a few years. It is interwoven with themes of racial prejudice, justice, the loss of innocence, empathy, and courage. The story is set in the 1930s in the fictional town of Macomb, Alabama, which catalyzes the events that come to pass. The central conflict of the novel is the trial of Tom Robinson, a black man who is falsely accused of raping a young white woman. It is this conflict that highlights the realities behind the South's dark history of racial prejudice. Fair warning, it is a real tearjerker. No matter how old I get, I always find a way to relate to the one and only Scout Finch. The youngest Finch is a feisty 6-year-old with a strong sense of self. Her adventures are joined by her big brother, Jim, and their friend, Dill. Perhaps the reason I find so much relatability in Scout is Lee based all the characters in the story on people she knew, with Scout being herself. This makes Scout's personality truly shine, and she just seems like every precocious Southern girl to me. Scout, however, is more than just a strong character. She sees significant growth throughout the progression of the novel. Many of the story's details are heartbreaking, but a constant ray of hope is Scout's ever-growing kindness and compassion. It is impossible, at least for me, not to love her character. This shines the most in her relationship with Boo Radley, a mentally disabled man in their neighborhood. Once considered a ghoulish figure, Scout comes to understand he is a person, just like everyone else, and he has a big heart, just like her. Because of Boo's childlike mindset, the two are much more alike than different. These developments come right at the tail of the story. This feature is what always makes it a tender ending for me. After a lot of heartbreak and ugliness, readers finally see hope, not just in Boo, but in how Scout starts to understand Boo. Of course, if you ask me, the true star of this story is Atticus Finch, Scout and Jim's father. Atticus is considered a controversial character in the world of literary criticism, as debates have raged over whether he truly wanted to advocate for Tom, or if he was merely trying to convince people to believe in his word as a white man. This, however, is not literary criticism, and I have no problem telling you that Atticus Finch is the love of my life. Atticus is the epitome of what we would all like a Southern man to be. Chivalrous, loving, intelligent, and community-minded. Some might see this as a little heavy-handed on the philosophical side of Atticus, but it is really just one more thing about him that I adore. Because of some of its content, To Kill a Mockingbird has come under attack in recent years. It is considered a banned book in many places, meaning it cannot be taught. This is your friendly reminder to always consider reading a banned book, because, as the saying goes, there's something in there that someone does not want you to read, and it is your right to question that logic. All this talk about To Kill a Mockingbird has made me want to read it again. This will be the 6th time I have read it in my life, so it is pretty clear that I think this book is an 11 out of 10. I'm Anais Shelley, and this has been The Tripolitan Above the Fold. To read the written version of this review, originally published in the Tripolitan student newspaper, visit tropnews.com. Special thanks to our faculty advisor, Hannah Cooper, and our friends at Troy Public Radio, including this show's producer, Joey Hudson. Thanks for listening and reading.
Views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the author and not necessarily those of Troy Public Radio and Troy University.